This thing is a 2004 Chrysler 300M. It's actually the one where I hacked into the unobtainable sunroof switch. Still kind of proud of that one. It's getting hot, overheating, like way overheating, like to the point where the engine actually stalls, which is really good for it. Apparently the radiator is also leaking. I'm sure that's got a lot to do with it. He's already tried to fix it using some traditional herbal remedies, and I guess that didn't work. You got a stuck thermostat, or the water pump's not pumping, one of the two. I think we better stop before we nuke something. So, looks like, I don't know, either the thermostat's not opening, or if it is opening, the water pump's not pumping. It is leaking a little bit too. A lot of it, actually. Looks to me like it's leaking right out of the front of the engine, which means it's probably leaking out of the water pump, because I'm pretty sure the water pump is driven by the timing belt. Let's put it back down before any of these brake lines decide to let go, and we'll contemplate what we really want to do. I think the thermostat is over here, up there and above the oil filter. Probably go ahead and replace that too. I wonder if it's ever had a timing belt. Actually, I don't need to wonder. I know it's never had a timing belt. So we'll probably go ahead and replace that too. Okay. Should be fun. We're going to switch back to the voiceover. I've got an obnoxious CNC machine in the background, bravely fighting with some 5115. More about that in a future video. I removed the belts, the core support, and the radiator fans. Now I'm trying to pull the damper. It's way too tight in here for a regular 3-jaw puller. So my clever idea was to back the bolt out of the crankshaft into the bottom of the puller. That actually works, kinda. But about halfway through, I remembered that I actually have a for real damper puller. And to no one's surprise, it works a whole lot better. It's kind of a hack move, but I like to mark the old belt and pulleys before I take anything apart. Then I can just transfer the marks to the new belt and install it just like the engine sits without lining up the timing marks. Some engines don't want to sit nicely in the timing position. Hondas are like that. There's always one cam that wants to fight you. It's an old habit. It's not necessary here. This timing belt is fall off a log easy. The engine sits north-south, so there's no mounts in the way. There's great visibility. It's a V6. There aren't any balance shafts to worry about. You really can't screw this one up. Yeah, it's definitely been leaking, but it looks like it has been replaced at some point. Even Chrysler wouldn't defile an O-ring with RTV. This water pump is also incredibly easy. 1 O-ring and 6 bolts. New belt, new tensioner, line up the timing marks, and that's all there is to it. You can replace the cam seals and the front main seal if you like. The main seal is leaking just a little bit, but I'm sure he's got another herbal remedy for that. You have to press the damper back on, and it turns out that I also have the for real tool for that. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever actually used it. It's pretty easy to see why. There's never enough room.
No fit.
So I prefer heat. Don't go crazy and melt the rubber, but with a little bit of heat in the hub, they usually slip right on. Now this one decided that halfway was far enough, so I had to pull it the rest of the way with the bolt. That gets torqued to 70 foot-pounds, which doesn't seem like enough, but what do I know? It's kind of crazy that a 2004 still has a manually tensioned V-belt. Looks like it's pretty slapped out, too. Yeah, I'm sure he's got an herbal remedy for that.
This radiator is unbelievably crusty. I can't believe it's not leaking. We're going to put it back together before it starts.
Reinstalling the fans in the upper hose will conclude the easy part of this job. It's time for the real fun.
What the heck is that? I'm going to be absolutely astonished if the heater core isn't completely blocked after this. Why can't people just fix stuff instead of patching it together? I got a new thermostat and a new thermostat gasket. I'm not even going to try to record that process. It is in a god-awful place. So I'll bring you back when I'm done.
This guy must have used all the stop leak. I mean, all of it. Oh my God, the whole bottom of this expansion tank is nothing but stop leak. I don't even know how to get it out of there. It's all baffled, and all the baffles are plugged with stop leak. What is wrong with people? Why can't they just fix things? I'm going to go give the expansion tank an enema. Please don't use stop leak. Please. Unless you want to put your mechanics' kids through college.
We're going in. Oh, God. Why? Well, I don't know what kind of stop leak he used, but it's either the worst kind of stop leak ever made or it's the best kind of stop leak ever made. I mean, you could plug the Titanic with this stuff. Alright, I'm gonna go rinse it out with some water. Unbelievable.
Max is on rodent patrol. He says we got an infestation, don't we, pup? Oh boy. Alright. Thermostat is installed. Really delightful place to work. Anyway, let's put some coolant in this thing and see what it can do.
Okay, I think we're full.
Temperature is headed down, so the thermostat must have just cracked open. That's what we want to see. I'm gonna let it run for a minute. I got it full of water. I'm trying to flush out all that stop leak, or as much of it as I can.
That's the best radiator drain I've ever seen.
We're done, I guess. I don't really know. That was a lot of stop leak. Like a whole lot of stop leak. This thing has a tiny cooling system. It was almost more stop leak than coolant. So I'm not making any guarantees. If the heat stops working or the engine keeps overheating, what are you going to do? It's everywhere in the coolant system and you can't flush it out. You can barely even scrape it out. So we're kind of stuck with it. Here's what I think might have happened. You guys tell me if I'm crazy. He hasn't had this car for very long. I'm guessing he purchased it from, how do I put this nicely? A like-minded individual. And the water pump's probably been leaking for a long time. And he wasn't the first person to dump in a bottle of stop leak. And we ended up with so much stop leak that it stopped everything except the leak. And then, you end up with this air pocket in the cooling system, and you can't refill it because the whole reservoir bottle is stopped up. So The thermostat probably wasn't the problem. I mean, it's a good idea to change it anyway while we're doing the water pump, but it was probably just out of coolant, and we couldn't refill it because it was so stopped up with stop leak. So, yeah, I don't know. Please don't use stop leak, especially if you have an aluminum radiator or heater core, especially on these Chryslers. Those heater cores will plug up for no reason at all. They don't need the stop leak to do it, so you're not doing yourself any favors. Anyway, we're moving on. We've been kind of heavy on automotive content, so we're going to try something different next time. You might get a little peek at it over in the corner. I'll see you then. Yeah, sometimes you get a job where you just need to walk away. Other times, you need to run as fast as your feet can fly. This is a 2006 Dodge Dakota. The customer complaint, the only customer complaint, is that the transmission doesn't shift right. And that's correct. It doesn't shift right. It doesn't shift at all. This thing's a real peach. Let me give you a tour. That's some fancy body work. This thing's got all the codes. We got O2 sensors, we got transmissions, we got PCM failure. Won't go into closed loop. There's a code for basically every pressure sensor in the transmission. It's really unhappy about the left front wheel speed sensor. Earlier it was showing 407 miles per hour while it was sitting still, so pretty sure that's not right. Looks like somebody swapped in an ABS module and didn't program it. Same thing with the airbags. So this thing is a real soup sandwich. What I found is the transmission. Well, how does it work? The computer over there is also the transmission control, and it turns on a relay, transmission relay here, and that basically powers up all the sensors in the transmission. And I can show you. It comes on for about a half a second when you turn the key on, and then it goes out. And without that, the transmission goes into limp mode or whatever. It can't do what it needs to do. Okay, so here goes. Oh, now it's working. Nope, there it goes. Yep, that's what it does. Lasts a little longer this morning. I don't know, most likely it's a bad PCM, but there's a chance it's just seeing something that it doesn't like and telling the relay to turn off and then not telling us what that is in the codes. I don't know. I'm not going to fix it though. Let me show you the other problems that I found. The driver's side exhaust manifold is falling off. The two studs in the back are missing. It's leaking bad. I don't know how they drive it. It gives me a headache before I hit the end of the driveway. The underside is where she really shines. And I mean that literally because it's leaking oil from everywhere. Looks like power steering and transmission cooler. Looks like we got some epoxy on that coupling there. I'm going to say it's not working very well. Check out this ball joint. That's pretty good. I think that one's even worse. That CV joint is real good. Looks like the axle mounts are shot too. You can see it bouncing all over. I can't tell. That might be engine oil leaking out the front main. It's pretty clean if it is. More fun in the rear. See this spot where it looks like Bruce Lee punched the bottom of the box? The spring hanger broke and the spring went right through the sheet metal. I'm guessing it was that way for quite a while based on the pounding that cross member took. The other side's even worse. Oh, that's because there is no cross member over here. Anyway, they replaced the spring hangers. Looks like some Dorman parts. Nothing really wrong with that. It's got a bunch of add-on helper springs and coilovers. I guess they weren't concerned about the broken spring. That could be a problem. Not for me, but, you know, for oncoming traffic.
The other problems are pretty minor. The exhaust is mostly for show, held on with straps and baling wire. The frame is starting to get a little puffy from the rust jacking. That looks like a crack to me. So it won't be long. Jeez. There is some good news. Got this custom K&N hot air intake and a brand new AC compressor. And she blows nice and cold with a healthy dose of carbon monoxide. Jeez. All right, I'm going to kick this pig. There's no way I'm going to get tangled up trying to fix it. So, coming to a Facebook marketplace somewhere near you. Thanks for watching.